booktube, I'm going to be talking about my TBR for the month of December. I decided to focus on Christmas and winter themes, and I'm just going to focus on my physical books for right now. I'm also hoping to read an equal amount of ebooks and audio books, but they're like a mismatch of things, and we'll see, what comes through in on my library and what audiobooks I happen to pick up, and so I'll just probably talk about those as I finish them. But I've somehow managed in the last 2 years to fill these bookcases. When I moved here, I had a handful, like maybe half of a box, but somehow I got all this. So I really want to get through some of my physical books, but that's kind of like a conversation for another day. So yeah, let's get into the books. And I'm not really going to do a detailed description on any of these because I have quite a few to get through. So the first one here is Adventures of the Iditarod Air Force. This true stories about the pilot to apply for Alaska's famous sled dog race by Ted Matson. And this book caught my eye with Iditarod in Alaska. I love reading books set in Alaska during the winter months. And this was an interesting perspective because it's talking about, from the air. I'm sure he has he can see things that all the books that I've read where it's just about training the sled dogs or the mushers on the sled. Totally different perspective. And so yeah, looking forward to that one. And kind of going with the dog theme here, I have Elemental's Ice Wolves by Amy Kaufman, and this is a really pretty cover. I've never read a book that was just by her. I read Illuminae. I didn't go on through that series. I just read Illuminae and Gemini. I think it's with Christoph, something with Christoph. But yeah, interested to see what this is about, and hope it's to be part of a series, or hopefully it's the first one, and if not, hopefully it does a good job of explaining itself so I'm not totally lost here. And then I have Off the Beaten Path, and it's hard to read because there's a bunch of words all along here, but on the back it says Off the Beaten Path Stories of Place. And this is edited by Joseph Barbado, but it has authors that I've read before, and I'm interested to see the stories that are selected here. Some of the authors I've read before: Barry Lopez, Rick Bass, Richard Bosch, Gretel Elrich. Let's see, any others? I don't recognize any other. Oh, Annie Prue. I've read her as well. So yeah, interested to see what this is all about. And speaking of, I just realized with this one, I have Gretel Ulrich right here, right beside it. The Future of Ice, A Journey into Cold, and this is all about glaciers. And I read, let's see, what's right here. I set it aside, I was thinking about it. The Solace of Open Spaces earlier this year, and really liked it. So I want to read more of her writing. And then switching to Christmas, I have The Christmas Cookie Killer by Olivia J. Washburn. You can't sugarcoat murder. Yeah, cozy mysteries right now is the perfect time for me. And this one doesn't seem to be as cozy, or maybe it's an old, or something just fell out here. Maybe there was someone was saving a bookmark, a picture of a cute dog. You never know what you'll find in books. But this one is Midnight Clear, a Callahan Garrity mystery by Kathy Hogan Trahek. So yeah, this seems more like a traditional thriller mystery, but we'll see. There's a sticker on this one. It's by Emily March, The Christmas Wishing Tree. And this is an Eternity Springs novel. I have Barbara Delinsky, Suddenly. I've heard of Barbara Delinsky. I've never read her, so we'll see what I think of this one. And it says, let's see, a small town in Vermont. Because it has I should have known that right away because it has the covered bridge there. Vermont and New England right now in, the snowy months would be perfect. And hopefully tomorrow we're going to get snow. If it does snow, then I'm going to, of course, take a bunch of video. And Fable loves the snow. Even a little bit of frost on the grass, and she gets all excited, starts rolling around and pouncing on it. So fingers crossed we get snow tomorrow. Then I have Dolores Fawson, Christmas Rescue at Mustang Ridge. This is an intrigue novel. I've never read her before. I've heard of her. So we'll see. Sorry, speaking of Fable, she's right behind the camera. So if you hear any noises, it's because she's almost nose to nose with it. Hopefully she doesn't knock it over. Then I have Christmas at Fireside Cabins by Jenny Hale. And funny, this little Christmas tree, it says, great price. Which, you think normally this little symbol here would be like, have like the name of the series or something. But no, great price. How much is this book? $13. And when did it come out? $13 for 2022. Okay. Yeah, that isn't bad. I got this for free, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe paid $1 for it at a local library sale. I can't remember. I have Melinda Curtis, A Very Merry Match, a Sunshine Valley novel. I've read the prequel to the series, maybe the first one, but I think this is like the third one in the series. I'm jumping around here, but it was Christmas themed, so I had to skip around in the series. And I'm not too like hard set on reading books in order in a series, especially if it's like a cozy mystery or like a romance series like this. Then most of the time it doesn't really matter, unless you want to follow like the character's journey. Then I have Rayanne Thane, A Cold Creek Secret, and this has an additional story by Caro Carson. And what is the name of that one? Not Just a Cowboy. I'm not sure if that's also like winter themed, and I don't even know if this one is Christmas related, but it had the winter cover, which caught my eye. And Georgette Hare, Envious Casca. And this one says, "'Tis the season to be dead." It's a holiday party that has a sinister aspect when the colorful assortment of guests discovers there's a killer in their midst. Because I've read several of her like historical romance books, like Regency romance. I haven't read any of her mysteries, and so I thought now would be a good time for that. And switching gears to nonfiction, I have Winter Brothers, A Season at the Edge of America by Ivan Doig. And let's see, does this have any description? About an early settler in the region who was drawn from Boston in the 1850s to the Pacific Northwest. So that'll be fun. Then I have A Christmas Kiss and Winter Wonderland by Elizabeth Mansfield. I haven't heard of her before, but she's an award-winning author of Grand Deception. It's 2 Regencies that are in here. The print is actually kind of really tiny, and it has like a stiff binding. So we'll see how I get on with this one. Then I have Dashing Through the Snow by Debbie Macomber. And I've already read this one, but I found it at a free library. I think I got a lot of these I got from the free library because I'm constantly exchanging books or at the library book sale. But I've already read this, and it was a delightful read a couple of years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. So I wanted to give it a reread. A Season of Angels by Debbie Macomber. I haven't read this one. I think she has like a series of angel like themed books, or like, I'm not sure. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I feel like there was something along those lines. But I'll find out. They have Call Me Mrs. Miracle. Or maybe this is what I'm thinking of. Isn't it like a Mrs. Miracle series? She's written so many books, it's hard to keep track. But I could have swore there was some kind of Mrs. Miracle, Mrs. something. Or maybe one of these. One of these, or maybe both, have a series. And then I have 2 little Christmas collections here. A Regency Christmas. And this is 5 stories by several different authors. Mary Balogh, Joe Beverly, Sandra Heath, Edith Layton, and Laura Matthew. So this looked really cool. And I have another one, A Victorian Christmas, and this is also includes 5 stories by Patricia Gaffney, Bethany Cron, Edith Layton, Mary Jo Putney, and Patricia Rice. And so yeah, these 2, especially this one, this looks really cool. And then it even has a little picture on the back here. Does this one have? No, this one's plain. But yeah, this one in particular, I for sure want to get to. Especially when I have like a huge TBR like this, I like to have a couple short story collections to, dabble throughout the month. So then for that, I'm going to have these 3 here. We'll see what I can get through. I think last year, because for Christmas books in particular, they tend to be on the shorter side, and so I think last year I got through like over 50 Christmas books, and to be honest, by the end of it, they all kind of blended together, and I'm like, and some of them stood out, but I'm like, which one was which? So I'm hoping to maybe, hit the same number. Like, I would like to end the year on a high note, and I feel like Christmas books would be the way to do that. So I will talk to you soon. Thanks, BookTube.